I love bets where you can't lose. So the first bet on problems ahead that you can make and has absolutely zero repercussions is to store food. I think precious metals do come in probably second or third. And what that means, and I say second or third because the second would be get your debt level under control.
As a responsible person with growing concerns for your privacy and personal liberty, you want to know where we're headed and what you can do about it. We ask the experts what you need to do to take prudent and responsible action to safeguard your family's wealth and well-being, and what basic first steps will help you to be aware and prepared. ReluctantPreppers.com.
Welcome again to ReluctantPreppers.com. I am your host and founder, Dunnigan Kaiser. We are live today at the Liberty Mastermind Symposium in Las Vegas, Nevada, and our special guest today is renowned silver market guru and analyst, David Morgan. So David, when you talk about what people can do to start making responsible choices that are going to help protect their family, to be prepared, to be more resilient, what's coming ahead, what is something, the first thing that comes to mind as a precious metals expert that you are, that someone should do if they want to make a first step to take care of their family?
Well, the answer might surprise you, but I think the first step is something that I like, and it's called a zero-sum or zero-lose game. I love bets where you can't lose. So the first bet on problems ahead that you can make and has absolutely zero repercussions is to store food. And most people that hear that think about it and say, that's true, we all eat. The point that some people miss is they get kind of the prepper mindset, which I'm not against. I'm free market, free thinking. But the way to approach it is to buy what you eat. So in other words, if you eat a lot of, canned vegetables, as an example, and you have a certain brand or whatever, then that would be what you would stock up on in advance. So I think it's a really smart thing to store food. Now, canned products are not my choice, just for the record, but that's the idea. So having an extra 2 months supply, 3 months supply of food on hand, one, you're probably going to beat inflation a little bit because food prices are really going up significantly. The government is very, very clear that they do not put in food or energy prices into the consumer price index. So you're sort of flying blind. People that go and shop and all of us eat know that these prices have gone up. So that would be number one. Store some food and store stuff that you actually like and actually eat.
Makes sense, but what would be a next step then? Where does it make sense to start thinking? Where in your list of priorities would you put accumulating precious metals as part of a family's resilience plan?
I think the first would be food, obviously. The second, we could talk about water, but I don't think that's really necessary. That sort of falls into the food category. I think precious metals do come in probably second or third. And what that means, and I say second or third because the second would be get your debt level under control. If you have excessive debt or you're buying that new car and it's becoming a burden, just think about it. Is it really that important to own it? In other words, get your debt burden definitely under control. So having made the assumption that you have, I would say precious metals would be next. You want to save. Savings are important, but you want to save in something that maintains value, and that would be precious metals. Certainly the prices go up and down, but what I like to say is an ounce of gold is the same mass anywhere in the universe, always and everywhere. It's a constant. What varies is how many dollars are printed against it and what the price fluctuations are on a daily, monthly, weekly basis. But in the long haul, that amount, a gold coin will have value always, and in times like these, it will have significantly higher value in the years going forward.
In that area of precious metals, people who have never purchased that before, it seems complex, it seems exotic, it seems daunting because there's so many different options of how to do it, where to hold it, who to trust, how to buy it. You talk all over the world and written books, and you've recognized as an expert in precious metals. For someone who's a beginner, what are some basic principles that they can look for to who to trust to get started in gold and silver?
Yeah, I was in a book called Investing Rules, and it's a book that looked at many, many different forms of investing, certainly not just precious metals. I always pick to do the 10 rules of silver investing. So to answer your question, I'm going to be a little promotion of my own website. But if you go to silver-investor.com and you get on the free list, you will get the 10 rules of silver investing. And these rules will keep you from making a big mistake. One, it says don't get a raw deal from your dealer. There's a recent episode with Tolving. Tolving had the lowest price, they're getting the lowest price can have some repercussions. And the other one really is to start small. These things are common sense. People don't do. Buying precious metals is probably the easiest investment you make because you don't require a brokerage account. You don't really require a middleman. You go to a coin dealer, either physically in your town or over the internet, and you make a purchase. But again, I ask people to start small. If you're going to buy, pick a number, $1,000, $10,000, $100,000, whatever you're going to purchase eventually, do a small transaction first, see how it comes, see how it's packaged, see how you're treated, and then you can step it up. Most people, when they start with a dealer and they get their product, which most of these dealers are good, there's a few that aren't, but most are, they will stay with that dealer regardless of the markup. And the reason is that they have a trust or a bond with
Absolutely, a proven performer. Yep, you know who you can trust. And beyond simply accumulating some precious metals to be a solid store of value for their family to weather uncertain times, you've also spoken today. I heard you speak at the Liberty Mastermind Symposium here in Las Vegas, Nevada, and you were talking about building relationships and stepping up, educating yourself to take a leadership role. So it isn't just about, it is primarily first about taking care of yourself and your family, but then beyond that, there's a greater call. And if you could speak just to that for a few minutes about that role of leadership, how do we help our friends, neighbors, family, and beyond?
Yeah, I talked about self-organizing communities, and that goes, as you said, starting with yourself. I mean, you can only be as valuable to someone else as you are to yourself. So in other words, whatever skill set you have, look to make it better, or look at a skill set that's needed or would be needed in the future that you can acquire. And these things usually don't come easy. I mean, you just can't read a book on a given topic and be that good at it. But there's things that you can do that will be beneficial not only to yourself but your community. I really think that when this breakdown crisis happens, no one knows exactly how it will unfold. But some of the skill sets that were probably important in, let's say, the late 1800s or early 19th century may become valuable again, as bizarre as that sounds. I mean, do the thought experiment and pretend that there's an EMP strike or some kind of cyber attack or some situation where the electricity is off for 2 weeks or 2 months. What skill sets would be valuable in those circumstances? I'm not predicting that it's going to happen, but it could happen. Regardless, I think you always have to be a lifelong learner. I think that one of the most important things that you can do as a human being is to become valuable internally. Know who you are, what you're made of, and cherish the fact that you have the opportunity and the capacity to continue to learn and discover and grow. Things that don't grow stagnate. I think our whole culture is stagnated to a large degree. And I think that we're going to get a shaking up, whether we like it or not, that's going to force us to look at other avenues for making a living, other avenues for perhaps obtaining food. It's going to be very, very interesting going in the future, is the way I see it.
Well, David, thank you so much for taking these moments to share with us some of your insights. It sounds like people can follow up on your silver-investor.com website. I believe there were some books that you also recommended at the conference. We'll pass those along also in links to our subscribers here so that they can look into some of those additional resources, and appreciate your thoughts. Is there any final parting perspective you have for our audience in terms of the road ahead and how to prudently prepare for that and take care of their family?
No, I think keep it simple. I think keep it simple, keep it understandable. You don't have to get very exotic. Do things that make sense to you. Question me, question authority, question everything. But I think most people are questioning whether the system can continue or not, and I'm pretty strong on the fact that it won't.
All right. Thank you, David.